Folks, I need you to stop what you are doing right now because the news coming out of Blue Jays camp over the last 48 hours has been absolutely electric. We are talking about a Trey Yesavage update that every single fan needed to hear, a Max Scherzer development that is moving faster than anyone expected, and a fresh batch of prospect rankings that paint a picture of a Toronto Blue Jays organization that is deeper, more talented, and more dangerous than most people even realize. We are under a month away from opening day. The chess pieces are moving, and today we are breaking it all down. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, this is your daily home for everything Blue Jays. The news, the analysis, the drama, all of it. Now let's get into it, because there is a lot to cover. Let's start where every Blue Jays fan's mind is right now. Trey Yesavage, the kid who went from Single-A Dundon in April 2025 all the way to striking out 12 Dodgers in a World Series game by November. The kid who set a major league record for strikeouts by a rookie in a World Series game. The kid who, at 22 years old, posted 39 strikeouts across the postseason, the most by any rookie in a single postseason in MLB history. Yeah, that Trey Yesavage. And the update we got this week is everything you wanted to hear. Ben Nicholson-Smith of Sportsnet reported that Yesavage will throw a live BP session to hitters, and then the Blue Jays will determine the next steps from there. He has not gotten into a Grapefruit League game yet, and honestly, there is no clear timeline for that happening in the immediate future. Now, before any of you start panicking, stop. This is exactly what the Blue Jays planned. This is smart. This is the right call, and here is why. Think about what Trey Yesavage's body went through in 2025. He started the year throwing 93 innings in his final college season at East Carolina. The Blue Jays drafted him 20th overall in 2024 and shut him down immediately. Then, in 2025, he pitched through every level of the minor leagues, Single-A, High-A, Double-A, Triple-A, before debuting in September, making 3 regular season starts, and then going on a 5-start postseason run that stretched all the way through Game 7 of the World Series on November 1st. When all was said and done, he had thrown 139.2 innings total across the year, a massive leap from the 93.1 he threw in college and the deepest into the calendar year he had ever pitched in his life at the highest pressure level imaginable. So when manager John Schneider says the Blue Jays are going to be really mindful of how they ramp him up, and when Ben Nicholson-Smith reports that if Yesavage is only ready to throw 3 or 4 innings to start the season, the organization is completely fine with that. That is not a concern. That is a blessing. That is a franchise protecting one of the most valuable young arms in baseball. And the most important piece of information to come out of all of this? According to reporters on the ground in Dunedin, Trey Yesavage is 100% healthy. He told people he is good with the slow buildup. He is bought in. He is relaxed. He is healthy. And for a franchise that has watched pitching prospects get hurt at an alarming rate over the last few seasons, Ricky Tiedemann, Brandon Barriera, Landon Marutis, Adam Macko, hearing the word healthy out of Trey Yesavage's camp is the most important thing in the world right now. Here is the beautiful thing about this situation. Because of the depth Ross Atkins has built into this rotation, the Blue Jays can afford to let their crown jewel grow slowly. They do not need to rush him. They do not need to throw him into a spring game tomorrow just to satisfy impatience. Schneider himself said the best-case scenario is Yesavage pitching 5+ innings by opening day, but if it is 3 or 4 innings, they are okay with that. He is going to be in the big leagues from day one. Not AAA Buffalo, not a rehab stint, the actual major league roster. He is locked in, he is healthy, and when he does get going, he is still the front-runner for the American League Rookie of the Year award. Now let's talk about what that depth actually looks like, because that brings us to the Max Scherzer news, and this is where things get really exciting. Mad Max is officially back. The Blue Jays made the Scherzer signing official on Monday, March 3rd, announcing a one-year deal worth $3 million guaranteed, with performance incentives that could push the total value to a staggering $10 million. The incentive structure starts at $1 million when he hits 65 innings, and adds another $1 million for every 10 innings after that, up to 155 frames total. So if Scherzer comes in and absolutely pitches his face off, this could be a massive value play for both sides. But here is the thing that made everyone's jaw drop. When Max Scherzer showed up to the Blue Jays Player Development Complex in Dunedin on Monday, he did not walk in slowly and ease into things like a guy who has been sitting at home unsigned all winter. He walked in, put on a full uniform, went straight to the mound, and threw a bullpen session in front of Schneider, pitching coach Pete Walker, and the rest of the staff. On day one. And then, Schneider stood in front of reporters and casually said Scherzer could be ready to pitch in a Grapefruit League game as soon as Saturday against the Phillies. Let me repeat that. A 41-year-old future Hall of Famer who signed his contract less than 24 hours earlier, was already lined up to pitch in a live spring game within the same week. This is not what anyone expected. Early reports suggested Scherzer might not be fully ready until late April, maybe even early May. Now we are talking about him potentially pitching in regular season games from the jump, and Scherzer himself told reporters on Tuesday that he is completely over the thumb issues that nagged him last year, and that he will be ready for the start of the season. Schneider was clearly delighted to have him back. "Good catching up with Gramps," Schneider said with a grin, in what might be the most affectionate thing ever said about a 41-year-old starting pitcher. He has previously called Scherzer one of his favorite players he has ever managed, and it is easy to see why. This is a guy who, even while unsigned, was down in Jupiter, Florida, throwing to hitters on his own, staying sharp, staying ready. He did not coast. He did not mail it in. He treated free agency like a brief inconvenience, and then showed up in Dunedin ready to compete. And why did he come back to Toronto? Scherzer himself said it best. "We obviously came as close as you can possibly to winning the whole thing," he told reporters. "It's something you can never get over or forget. That was a huge reason why I wanted to come back, because this team can win and I want to be part of it." Toronto was 90 feet away from winning the World Series in the bottom of the 9th inning of Game 7. Scherzer himself pitched brilliantly in that game, handing off a 3-1 lead that the bullpen ultimately could not hold. That sting is real, that hunger is real, and now he is back in a Blue Jays uniform, throwing bullets in a Dunedin bullpen and reminding everyone that Mad Max never really left. The timing of all of this is also worth noting. With Shane Bieber dealing with right forearm fatigue and his timeline being pushed further and further into spring, potentially into May before he makes his 2026 debut, Scherzer's accelerated ramp-up becomes even more important. The Blue Jays have Kevin Gausman, Jose Berrios, Dylan Cease, and Cody Ponce in the rotation. With Yesavage being carefully managed and Bieber on a delayed schedule, Scherzer could actually push his way into the opening day rotation. And if that happens, this starting staff becomes one of the most imposing in the American League before you even factor in what Yesavage is going to do once he is fully stretched out. Now let's talk about something that does not always get the attention it deserves. The Blue Jays farm system, because MLB Pipeline just dropped their updated top 30 prospect rankings for the 2026 season, and the picture they paint is remarkable. This is a farm system that is better than most fans realize, and it has major implications for the roster going forward. Trey Yesavage sits at number 1, as he should. He is also ranked 12th overall in all of baseball by MLB Pipeline, which is extraordinary for a player who technically still qualifies as a prospect. He will graduate off this list in 2026, but before he does, let his presence at the top serve as a reminder of what elite prospect development looks like. Right behind him at number 2 is JoJo Parker, the shortstop taken with Toronto's first-round pick in the 2025 draft, currently ranked 45th in all of baseball. Arjun Nimala, a shortstop taken in the first round back in 2023, comes in third and sits 77th overall. Then you have left-handers Johnny King and the returning Ricky Tiedemann, who is working his way back from Tommy John surgery and whose ceiling, when healthy, is absolutely terrifying. Gage Stanifer, Juan Sanchez, Jake Bloss. This list goes deep and it goes fast. But the two names fans need to be paying attention to right now, heading into this season, are R.J. Schreck and Josh Yesavage. Schreck, the 25-year-old outfielder Toronto acquired from the Mariners at the 2024 trade deadline in exchange for Justin Turner, sits at number 9 on MLB Pipeline's list and carries a 2026 ETA. He is described as having best-in-class plate discipline and strike zone awareness, a guy who does not expand, does not chase, and finds ways to get on base consistently. He has hit 17 and 18 home runs in back-to-back seasons in the minors. He can handle center field defensively. He is the kind of player this Blue Jays organization loves, a high OBP type who fits their style of play perfectly. Keegan Matheson of MLB.com has essentially said outright that both Schreck and Yohendrick Pinango are projected to make their MLB debuts in 2026. If a big leaguer goes down in the outfield, Schreck is the first man up from AAA Buffalo, no questions asked. And then there is Josh Yesavage. Now, Yesavich's 2025 season was derailed by injuries, a stress reaction in his back to start the year, then a wrist injury that kept him out until August. On paper, it looked rough, but in this spring training, the kid is absolutely raking. We are talking a .462 batting average this spring, a home run, 6 hits in 13 at-bats, 0 strikeouts. 0. Matheson himself tweeted a video of Yesavage going deep 416 feet in Fort Myers and noted that the organization loves him, that he is a top 15 prospect in the system, and that he could be a real option for a reserve infield role by mid-season if he keeps hitting. And here is why that matters so much right now. The Blue Jays infield is the biggest question mark on this roster. Leo Jimenez has not seized the second base job despite multiple opportunities. Andres Gimenez had a down 2025. Kazuma Okamoto has never faced big league pitching before. If those guys struggle, the phone to AAA Buffalo gets made very quickly, and Yesavich's name will be at the top of that list. The Jays love him, and this spring, he is making it impossible to ignore him. What makes all of this so exciting is what it represents for this organization as a whole. Cast your mind back to 2018, 2019, the last time this team could genuinely brag about a farm system, when Bo Bichette and Cavan Biggio and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. were all coming up together. For years after that, the cupboard was relatively bare. The team graduated those prospects, traded others, and the pipeline dried up. But now you have a legitimate wave building. Trey Yesavage leading the charge, JoJo Parker and Arjun Nimala coming, Gage Stanifer and Juan Sanchez, whose raw power and ceiling are genuinely jaw-dropping, R.J. Schreck and Yesavage ready to contribute in the near term. This is a system that can develop players and trade players and still come out ahead, which is exactly what Ross Atkins did last year when he sent Warren Watts-Brown, Cal Stevens, and others to acquire major league pitching, and the system barely flinched. This Blue Jays team is built to compete now and in the future simultaneously. That is a genuinely rare thing in baseball, and with opening day less than a month away, with Trey Yesavage healthy and ramping up, with Max Scherzer throwing bullets in a Dunedin bullpen and eyeing a Grapefruit League start this weekend, with Josh Yesavage destroying baseballs in spring and R.J. Schreck ready to go the moment he gets the call, the state of this franchise has never looked more exciting. The World Series hangover was supposed to be the story of this spring. Losing Game 7 at home, 90 feet away from glory, that was supposed to haunt this team. Instead, they signed Dylan Cease. They brought back Max Scherzer. They are managing their golden arm carefully and correctly, and their farm system is producing talent faster than anyone is giving them credit for. The 2026 Toronto Blue Jays are not a team trying to get over a loss. They are a team with a score to settle. And that, Blue Jays fans, is everything you needed to know today. We will be keeping you updated every single step of the way as we get closer to that opening day bell. If you found this video valuable, if you want to be the most informed Blue Jays fan in your circle, then hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel more than you know. Drop a comment below and tell me your most exciting part of all this news. Is it the Yesavage update? Scherzer ramping up faster than expected? Or is it one of those prospects that has you fired up? Let me know. And if you are not subscribed yet, what are you doing? This is your daily Blue Jays headquarters. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, and we will see you in the next one. Let's go, Blue Jays!